How's everybody doing tonight? What's going on? I think I have everything set up correctly. I'm working on here. Let me take my hat off here. Take my glasses off too. I don't need to scratch those up. How much hair can I pull out? Ooh, that's cold. There. I hope I pressed the right button. I can't see this screen. There. Alright. How's that looking? I can't see the screen, so I can't tell. You gotta do a little bit of work on one of these corners. This one. A little bit of work there. And then I feel like I look like the guy in Braveheart, the assistant to the king. He's got like a douchey mustache goatee thing, and he's very haughty and so very well, my lord, send in the infantry. Feel like that's what I look like. But anyway, I'm expanding the mantle, and I need to start like bringing this in at some point. But we'll get to that later. I just want to finish the corner on this first. Yeah. Oh. And then I've got the rings to work on my jelly cube. I want to expand this out to I have a large rubber band ball, probably yay big. I want to make this jelly cube at least that big. It sits over on my bar, and so we'll get to this in a bit. I've been working on this all day, and the irritating thing is, I don't know if you can tell. Oh, you can tell. You see where the color shifts at the bottom, the last 5-6 rows, right? Excuse me. Oh, sorry. For anyone looking at the overhead, you see this line right here where the color changes? That's not annoying at all. So, hopefully, I'm hopeful that I can polish all of that up. So, and it'll all be one color. So we'll see. Oh, and before I get started, before I get too far along, I want to show everyone my 2-foot JPL necklace. Let's zoom in here. I had the unfortunate experience of ordering the wrong ring size, and I ended up with 18 gauge 3/16 square wire. And so I put it all together and I made a 2-foot necklace out of it. It's pretty cool. Got it all polished and shined up, and I'd like to find a nice pendant for it. So we'll see. But yeah, I finished that up the other day, on top of all the other crap that I've got going on, which would include all the work on the motorcycle project. So I've got everything assembled. I need to sit down and get started. I need I want a guide for when I'm drilling holes in the saddlebags. And so I got to figure out how to do that. Because I'm going to be... Oh, thank you for the follows, guys. Yes, please. Follow, like, share, tap the screen. I do appreciate it, and it helps me get out in front of other people, and the whole point of why I stream is to show other people that they can do this too. And you know, of course, I have a merch store where you can buy chainmail themed apparel and accessories and stuff, and you can download the Mailworks app to get all the resources I would have wanted when I first started. But you know, basically it's, if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings or Redwall when you were growing up, or any fantasy book where they had armor. It's like, yeah, you know, you can make this stuff at home. So, and then once you get started, you'll never have money for anything else, and it will consume your life. But it's not drugs, so that's good. And you can end up with cool finished products that are fun. So that whole trifecta, the like, follows, and shares really help, and I appreciate everyone who does it. But anyway, where was I? Yeah, I've got I need to sit down and just start working on finishing the saddlebags, because the chainmail portion is done. All I have left is making the edge and lacing leather cord through and braiding it up so that it stays on there. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's going to be quite a bit. Well, thank you for the follows, guys. And for all the likes. Alright. So my name's Sean. I run mailworks.com, where I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories. And I've got an app called the Mailworks app that you can download on Google and Apple from their app stores. And you can, it's basically a large resource list, but there's a place for you to ask questions. There is a link to my store, of course, and then there's some other tools in there as well. There's links to a bunch of other sites where you can meet up with other chainmail artists and get their input and their ideas, and so that is what I do. And I've been doing this for about 27 years. I finally started getting serious about it 15 years ago, maybe 16 now, and now that I don't have anything else to do, I'm getting very serious about it. So we're expanding out. I say we, I mean me. All the things that you can do with chainmail, like make anodized titanium, make your own rings, weld rings, coil rings, rivet rings, all that fun stuff. Rivet wings is what I almost said. Excuse me. Oh. I'm currently working on a coif. Some people, I've heard other people call it a coif. I've only heard it referenced as a coif. C-O-I-F. But I'm not an expert. But I have a book that might one day help me be an expert. So, and this is just a headpiece to go on top of the stands for the shirts that I've made. And just have some down in the basement. Whenever we have people over and we're all hanging out down here, someone inevitably takes one of the chainmail shirts off the stand and puts it on, and we get pictures of them in it, and it's fun. And so I'm making a coif so that they can put that on too. These are just butted rings. There's nothing particularly defensive about it or anything. But I've only made 2 of these, and so as I'm trying to use up the rings in my basement. I started making a coif, and then I ordered more rings to finish the coif, and then those rings didn't match up, so the initial rings I had got turned into dice bags, and I ordered more rings, and then now I'm here with 2 different colored rings, and yeah, it's a conversation piece. You could call it that for sure. It's just like, I don't have a lot of experience making coifs, so we'll see where it goes. It's not necessarily something I want to be working on. Wearable Convo showpiece, yeah. Some for people to pick up and look at and get some semblance of an idea of perhaps what someone would have worn in a medieval time period. And to take fun pictures with. So, I have every intention of ripping apart my current shirts and redoing them to make them more suitable for daily wear and more fashionable. And so I think once I'm done with this coif, I'll probably try to find a way to line it, put some trim on it, you know, just make it excessive just for fun. You think the Viking era is pretty cool? Yeah. A lot of people are into it right now. I've got a few. What did I make the other day? I made a few bracelets with some Mjolnirs. It turned out pretty good. I've got a bunch of. Oh, you know what? No. Made a bracelet with some small beads and what do you call it? With Mjolnirs and Valmuts on them. So there's a lot of imagery that comes from that time period, a lot of Celtic imagery, and that is just, it melds really well with chainmail. Assassin's Creed Valhalla got you more interested into it? I have never played that. The last game that I went through, and I still haven't finished, I started playing Tears of the Kingdom over the summer, and I probably played that for 3 months straight. And I bought a PlayStation. It was supposed to come with a code to get Ragnarok, and it was just, there was nothing in the box. So I couldn't download anything. And then I played the PlayStation for a little bit, and I have this issue where if I'm sitting down playing a game, I can't enjoy myself because I feel like I'm not working. And so I have a hard time sitting down and playing video games when, like, I have unfinished projects down here in the basement, which is all the time. I always have unfinished projects down here, so that should be nothing new to me. But now, a movie I can sit and watch and work on stuff all at the same time. So I'm much better at doing that than I am at playing video games. The last game you played through was Diablo 3 Reaper Souls. Yeah, I never played that one either. The last game I played seriously with a large group of people was Halo in Iraq, and we all had our Xboxes strung. Well, I didn't even have an Xbox. I was a leech playing off someone else's game system. But all the boys had their Xboxes linked up, and we would play Halo all night while we were deployed. And like that was the last game I spent any serious time on. And then when I got back to the States, I didn't play games or have a game system for forever. So finally I got the PS5 and it's like, I'm going to sit down and play some games. And then my wife got me Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch. And I haven't played. Thank you for your service. So thank you for your support. It's really funny. Like, I appreciate you saying that. I do. Because it's really funny when you get people that are like, they act like it's the 1970s and you're a Vietnam vet coming back and they can just say the most offhanded stuff to you, which is really funny. Because I was a nurse. I took care of third country nationals, coalition forces, so the Brits, the Romanians, a couple other countries we had there, U.S. forces, and Iraqis. It was like, I wasn't pointing anything at anyone, and most of the time, anyway. So, in all seriousness, thank you. But where was I? Yeah, I don't know. Got the PlayStation and I don't even play it, so whatever. It don't really matter you served, that's what matters? Yeah, I mean, that's what I think. Alright. I need to sit down and pick out some movies and relax while still working. Is what I need to do. I'm going to finish up this corner here and switch to another project. So I've got this jelly cube that I was finally able to grab some more rings for. And as fun as making armor is, it is, you know, time consuming and tedious for both me and the audience, so I want to work on something a little more fun. Like the other night I was making a bunch of jewelry and everybody seemed to have a good time. Well, thank you for the follow. I have not seen Bennett's War. What era did that come out in? That doesn't sound something recent. What was that? The last war film I watched was, I don't know if Bennett's War is about war, but, you know, sounds like it. It was, like, it's a 2000s era movie? Okay, no, I've never seen it. It's some movie about World War I. A bunch of British kids go off to war, and it's about trench warfare and stuff. So that movie was, I thought it was really well done. Is it 1913? I don't know how I ended up watching it. Every now and then I'll pull out like We Were Soldiers, and it's a 2000 movie of vet races motocross. Okay. I don't know if I can watch that anymore. When I was young and did cool stuff like that, you know, I could watch it on a film or a screen or something. But I am old, and anymore, whenever I'm watching someone do like mountain biking, motocross, or the videos where they're like really high up on the mountains and there's just nothing on either side for 3,000 feet. Oh my gosh. I start getting dizzy watching them now. And it's like, what has happened to me? I used to be so cool. It's like when I was 14, I jackknifed my front tire into a tree root going downhill about 30 miles an hour and went, you know, head over heels over the handlebars, dislocated my shoulder, or my AC joint in my shoulder. And even then, you know, that didn't stop me. Like, I just had a major accident, and I was out doing some serious mountain biking like 2 months later, and I grew up skiing and whitewater rafting, and now I'm just old. Sorry if you think you're old. It's not the age, man, it's the mileage. It's like I'm definitely young at heart, but must live with the harsh reality that the things I did in my youth have consequences. So, like, I have 2 displaced vertebrae in my neck and a disc that juts out like an inch. And that was from the military, so. How am I nose? Don't pick your nose, dear. I only know that sound from TikTok. I don't think I've ever seen the South Park episode that it's from. You know, the don't pick your nose, dear. Young at heart, body's worn here as well. 13 years welding, stainless process piping. Yeah, that'll break you down. I think any trade job will have a physical cost for sure. Alright, almost done with this corner. So the only welding I've ever done is I did some welding in high school with a Lincoln welder, whatever that's called, and oxyacetylene welding. And then I recently got a little pulse welder to weld rings closed, and it works pretty well. I don't use it much because there's not a lot of times when it's necessary to weld rings closed in chainmail projects, but I'm finding more and more uses for it as time goes on. It is arc welding? Okay. It does use your body to the fullest? Yeah. Yup. Alright. So this is, this corner is complete. I've got all of this broken up back here. These are the expansions. They'll start taking it from straight down the side of my head and moving outwards over my shoulders and down my back and stuff. And oh, let me take this off. All right, where are we at? Let's have a look. Give me a turn. All right, see how it's coming out. Those expansions should help it lay flat. So now I need to figure out where to make it go across my neck, basically, and how tight I want it. You know, for anyone watching on the overhead. So yeah, it's coming out pretty good. I think I put those expansions in about the right place. Might be a little small, but like I said, it's mostly just for fun. And the whole I've mentioned this before, the whole skill of sizing a coif or sizing a piece of armor that medieval blacksmiths did, right? The way they do expansions and contractions is nuts. It's very form-fitting. It's specific to each individual. Far more technical than what I'm doing right now. All right, let's get some rings out here. I've got a bunch of this done. Right, see that loose ring right there? That means that we need to add 2 rows on this side. Same thing here, 2 rows on that side, and I don't know if you can tell by looking at the top's a little uneven. So we need to, it's because I already started working on the top side. So we need to finish the top side and then add rings to the other side. So what pliers do I want? I think I want my Zerons. And these are 18 gauge 1/8 rings from chainreaction.ca. Chain-reaction.ca. If you're looking for a source of rings, they haven't let me down yet. All right. I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream because people ask, how big are you going to make this cube? And actually, I should just go grab the rubber band ball that I have. Hang on 2 seconds. All right. So this is my rubber band ball. It's dying, right? It's kind of old. The latex of the rubber bands is breaking down. And it's not even in the sunlight, right? So that's how big I want to make it. So probably double up in size and then one, two, okay. We got a long way to go. And this is just a passion project. Oh, I do need to make one for my neighbor. She did want one. But this is simply layers of Japanese 4-in-1 stacked on top of each other. And if you get the right ring size, it makes a really cool cube. And a lot of people who are better with colors than me make cool ones with cool patterns. And this is bright aluminum. And there are plenty of people who use like anodized aluminum to make these, and they come out pretty cool. So, yeah. I don't know how many rings I have in this yet, but I think I'm over 10,000. I don't know how many rings it'll have when it's done. By no means is it the biggest jelly cube in existence or anything. There is one being made by Mike from the big chainmail community over on Facebook, and his will have 750,000 rings by the time he's done. So I am a long way off from that. What he has done right now is basically the size of this work mat. And it's about an inch thick, maybe more. I think he said he had 50,000 rings done. 70,000. Last time I talked to him, so that's a crazy project. It's one of those, I hope he makes it and finishes it, and he said he wants to sell it for a lot of money, so I need to get rich so I can buy it. So go to mailworks.com and get yourself some merch and help me purchase this giant cube that Mike is making. And I know what you're going to say. Sean, you could just make it yourself. No, I could, but no. Absolutely not. It's like I kind of enjoy making these cubes because they're fun, but I'm not putting 750,000 rings together for one project. I say that as I have, multiple projects I'm thinking of that have several thousand rings involved. That's fine. And I don't know if you guys saw it, on my little ringception piece that I made a video of in my TikTok yesterday. I got some validation. It was compared to another chainmail artist who recently passed away, who was very well known in the community, had done a lot of work, had contributed a lot of stuff. He had made something that it didn't look similar, but it was kind of similarly themed, right? Chains and chains making bigger chains. And so my little piece got compared to that, and I was like, oh, that's perfect, because I have big plans for stuff like that in the future. Mine are a little bit different, but I do want if I go out and I got nothing more than, hey, you were kind of like this guy, I'll be like, all right, that's pretty good. Come on. And I would show you my little ringception piece, except it's all the way over on the window ledge. I would have to get up again. So if I do get up again, I'll grab it. But streaming is one of those things where you got to stay on screen and you got to talk, right? And if you're good at it, you develop the skill set where you're kind of talking to a beat and you're introducing topics, in a certain pattern, and that helps keep the attention of your audience. I'm terrible at it, but people who record and edit their videos and everything try to keep a certain rhythm going to help you to hold your attention and get you to watch longer. So when you stream and do it live, it's harder to do that, but there are some people who are good at it. I'm not one of those people, but one day maybe I'll be good at this. I'm just here to have fun, make stuff, and show people that they too can make cool stuff. So I did order about 4,000 more rings for this, I think. And I've got this 4,000 and this can of rings that I ordered for the Coif. That's about little under half of a coffee can. And I think it was about 5,000 rings. So for some reason, because I ordered them and they showed up, I now have been putting off projects that I should be working on to work on these, and it doesn't matter. I will get to it all eventually. But I want to once I get this as large as this rubber band ball over here, then, which is not going to happen anytime soon, even with 4,000 additional rings, right? Once that happens, then I want to try the Infinity Cube by Razzmatazz, which was this cube that folded out into eight sections, and then you could bend it and fold it back up into a cube, turn it into a rectangle. You know, it's got once you get all the links correctly placed, it's, you know, it was a, I remember having it as a kid's toy, but they made theirs out of jelly cubes, and so I definitely want to do one of those. And of course, next month, I did get some Christmas money, but next month, well, no, next month is, I got a Valentine's Day and a birthday coming up, so maybe March. Maybe March we'll get to the anodizer and get that process all set up. So that's a whole other hobby, right? So there's chainmail, right? What comes along with chainmail? Leatherwork, okay? So I've done leatherwork. I'm not great at it or anything, but I've done some successful pieces, right? And I'm getting better. And I just went to Tandy and spent way too much money. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. So what else goes along with chainmail? Making rings. That's a whole hobby in itself. Making and cutting rings, thousands of them, and getting them to be like high quality, clean, polished rings. That is a developed skill, right? And what's next? Anodizing, right? You can anodize aluminum. My understanding is that you don't want to do that in-house because it involves a lot of industrial chemicals that you don't want to expose yourself or your family to. So that's fine. I don't want to do that, but you can anodize titanium and niobium at home because it's just electrical anodizing, not chemical. And this, don't quote me on that, it's just my understanding. So anodizing is a whole skill in itself. There was a streamer, his name was Cinnabar, and he makes chainmail. He's really good at it. He has forgotten more about chainmail than I'll ever know, right? Super nice guy. Used to spend his time making and giving away anodized titanium pieces, and he would just do it on a Saturday for 7-8 hours. He'd anodize the piece and do a little random screen name grab thing. But he was super talented with it and did some really awesome stuff. So anodizing, yeah, whole another skill you got to learn or get to learn, right? And then, okay, what comes next, right? Well, you want your chainmail to be strong, and if you're making a piece that requires a big skinny ring, so what would be an example of a big skinny ring that I could grab and show you? Okay. So a ring like so, as opposed to a ring like that, right? Small, fat ring, big skinny ring. Okay? I don't know if that makes sense. Just the thickness of the wire used to make the ring is proportionally smaller than the diameter of the ring, right? Say you're using some of those to make a weave, and you want to make sure those rings stay in place. You can weld them, right? So then you gotta get the machine and learn how to weld. And then you want to make, pieces that are close to historically accurate, right? You want to make some real high quality medieval style chainmail. Maybe you even want to match what period they come from and use wedge rivets, right? That's a whole other setup and talent that you got to learn. beyond just weaving. You know, just learning weaves and putting rings together. So it's an ever continuing list of stuff you get to learn. And that's where I'm at. I've got a welder, so I can do that. I'm gonna get an anodizer, that's coming, and I'm starting my setup to make riveted rings here soon. And I just want to be able to make really cool stuff in-house, right? Oh, and then I need a ring cutting, coiling, cutting, and cleaning setup. That's my goal. So I don't. Now, for anyone who is considering starting out making this stuff, my advice to you is order a kit. Go to Chainmail Joe's and order their beginner kit. Go to We've Got Mail and order one of their kits. Who else has kits? There's, you know, if you're on Etsy and you're looking for a kit, be sure that you're getting the full kit and not just the tutorial for a weave. Okay, watch out for that. But get yourself some pliers. Doesn't matter if you pull them out of the junk drawer, the toolbox of your own house. Oh my God, I'm making a paper chainmail right now. Have you ever made that? Well, paper chain, really? It's just one chain. How are you? This is me now. You mean like the paper chains you would string up for Christmas to, like, you rip off one link each day and then it was Christmas? Like that kind of paper chain? Or something more specific? Or more advanced? Sorry, I just noticed your comments. I'm on multiple platforms right now, so I try to follow along, but it is difficult. But yeah, you're good. Yes, those. Right on. Well, if you feel like getting crafty, you can make some chainmail weaves out of those. It's the same concept. Are you just making a decoration, or are you making a paper chain for a specific reason, if I may ask? I am using Zurons. These are Zuron 483s. Yeah, these are Zuron. I don't know if you can read that. Zuron 483s. So I have the Zurons. I have a pair of Wubbers, right? These have served me well. These are a pair off the shelf from Lowe's. And then these I got from my great-grandfather, who had them in his junk drawer. And these I also got at Lowe's. These are Husky brand. I use these for heavier gauges, like 16 gauge and higher, 14 gauge and higher. These for 18 to 16 gauge. And then my Zurons for like 20 gauge and 20 gauge and smaller. Just working on a simple craft vibing. No reason just to make something. It's simple and satisfying. There you go. When did you start on this? I started on this cube, I don't know, 6 months ago, something like that. And I just got more rings in. Started on this cube like 6 months ago, and I just got more rings in to add to it. And I'm making it, trying to replace my dying rubber band ball here as a fidget toy for my bar. Is it a job, a hobby, or both? This is my only occupation. So if you look at my hoodie, right, it is a chainmail themed hoodie. And where's my button? Where'd it go? So I only have like what I make and sell, and then what I sell on my website, which is all chainmail themed print apparel and accessories. So I am a chainfluencer, and this is the Church of Chainmail, where we discuss the Holy Ring and wait, that could never mind. Well, that's awesome. Glad you can do something you love. Yeah, me too. Come on. Where am I at here? Yes, I'm very glad that I can do this. Now we'll be... what I'm currently mostly doing is using up all the rings in my basement and either finishing projects or turning them into something else. I've got a big motorcycle project right now where I'm covering the saddlebags of my motorcycle. I just bought the leather to do the gas tank bib, which will also have chainmail on it. And I've got the toolkit around here somewhere. And if I'm really lucky, I'll be able to get the front and rear fender and the gas tank and side panels all hydro dipped in a chainmail pattern that I will design. So I've got that going on. And in between that, a giant inlay I need to finish, a new art project that I want to work on, cubes and coifs, right? I've got to do some more design work on the computer and get products up and then make stuff, you know, actual chainmail stuff to sell. So it keeps me busy. Alright, Larry Schlosser wire. Yeah, hoodie's dope. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the hoodies are gonna come. I'm gonna put them back up on the store. And I keep telling myself that, and then when I go to do work on the store, there's like busy work to do, and I do that instead. It's annoying. All right, how do we deal with this? Larry Schlosser, do you know those people you tagged? I'm going to give Larry a minute to answer here, and then I will ban him. I don't like having people tagging other people they don't know in the chat, because usually that means it's a bot. But maybe Larry's a genuine person and just thinks that chainmail is cool, and or he could be gone. I don't know. Anyway, fun times. Fun times. You guys all know the dead internet theory that there's really just only bots out there on the internet now, and most people don't interact with content very much. So like all the... Oh, my leg is numb. Excuse me. All the like likes and shares and all that is like bot oriented. Yeah, it sucks. And AI and anyway. I have a lot of interaction in several groups I'm a part of people who I know in real life, so that's where I post the most. Do you seem like a bot? No. Why should you? It was... So I'm streaming on multiple platforms right now. I'm on TikTok, X, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and I think that's it. and it was just someone in a comments section somewhere else tagging people, and that usually is not a person. I don't think a bot would pop up and say they were making a paper chain. I could be wrong. Okay. I hate it when the music stops because, like, there's been times when the music will stop and then it doesn't start back up. You see, do you like live streaming? Oh my god, true bots are less random than that. Yeah. Yes, we're working on a jelly cube. Astrid, how are you tonight? We got more rings in to work on it, so I do like live streaming. It gives me an opportunity to show people what I work on, who I am, and what I do, and that's my only way of getting what I do out into the real world. Busy getting the options figured out, but good. Right on. Right on, right on. Yeah, so I don't leave my house when it's less than 45 degrees, so unless I have to, like, I will go get groceries, I will drive my kid to school, but other than that, I'm not leaving. So, and I don't do shows or booths anywhere or anything, so I gotta find some way to reach the masses, and live streaming's worked pretty well so far. And sometimes you have a really good night where you get 600-700 people watching, and lots of comments and lots of likes and lots of shares and everything, you know. But most nights it's just pretty chill. It's you and a couple people hanging out, making stuff. So yeah, there's and then of course I like live streaming more than I like making videos. Right? I've mentioned it before. I'm terrible at making videos and like videography content. I wish I was naturally inclined to make like quality videos, and I've tried. I have tried. I tried editing. I tried recording my what I was making and then editing it. I bought some Camtasia software and just tried learning, and it was such a struggle that I'm just like, okay, I will make what I can, and if people like it, great, and if not, I'm just not going to worry about it. So I do have an aversion. Live is a better way to show how this stuff is made too, like doing demos at events. Yeah, 100%. And then you can show off like a whole bunch of stuff too. Like dying rubber band balls. It's like spaghetti. Yeah. Excuse me. But I need to make more product videos, and just me be more persistent and consistent at it. Have I ever cut a rubber band ball open? No, I have not. But instead of throwing this away, maybe I'll make a video about cutting it open. If I ever... Actually, you know what? I should just put this, as a work in progress over on the bar where the rubber band ball is, and then make a video of me cutting that rubber band ball open and just get rid of it. Once I get these next. You found one of those in your mom's basement? Some of the rubber bands had melted? Yeah, I believe it. Yes, do that. I think that's a great idea. Just destroy the rubber band ball because it's dying anyway and record it. That'll get... Here's the thing. Here's my favorite thing in the whole wide world, right? Is I'll spend hours working on a project, and then, I'll take a bunch of video of it, and I'll try and make it real polished looking and everything, and I'll get 10 views and 3 likes, right? But I'm going to go make a video about this rubber band ball and cut it open, and I'm going to get 1,000 likes and 1,000,000 views, and it's just going to be me with a knife cutting through it. And there will be no editing, no special sounds, nothing. And it's going to get more views than all of the work I've done so far. Oh, that is my most favorite thing in the world ever. But yeah, no, I should definitely do that. Need a bright, sunny day so there's a lot of light in my kitchen. People are simple. Yeah. It's so weird how low effort does the best. Yes. My low effort videos have always outperformed things that I've tried to work on. But it's fine. I just need to make more low effort content. That's the trick, But I don't know how to play stupid, I don't know if I can do it intentionally. Because if you do it and then it doesn't look natural, that's when it fails too. So, I don't know what the answer is. Just make random stuff. Right? Oh. Watch how this jelly cube reacts to getting hit by a hammer. Right? I could make that video, and it would be something. But then I would have put a lot of work into this, and... I don't know. Throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. Yes. All right. Here's a weird question. So I weave right to left, or top to bottom, right to left. Right? Oh, thank you for the... What are those? Let's say the big heart. You know how you read left to right, right? I weave right to left. And we read top to bottom. I weave top to bottom. It's just a weird thing to think about. I don't know if that's because I'm right-handed and it's easier that way. Do left-handed people weave just the opposite. I know some people prefer their rings to be wound a certain way when they're made, and that just changes how those two edges line up before you close it, right? So to me, when I look at this, the left side is above the right side, right? And other people, I guess based on which hand is dominant, prefer to have their ring wound a certain way before it's cut. It helps them for some reason. I don't know. I've never really had an issue with that. It depends on the weave for you. Fair enough. As long as we're not weaving upside down and backwards, we should be all right, right? I know I've done that a time or two. I was doing that the other day with that little ringception piece. Trying to close that stainless full Persian chain that I wound into it. That was quite the task. Challenge mode, yeah. So place one hand over here and weave the ring and then close it, yeah. If I ever have a group get together again, I had a few challenges in mind. I don't remember most of them now, but one of them was just have have some door prizes and whatnot. If you have a bunch of people, a bunch of other chainmailers come hang out with you. And then at some point, one of the challenges was everybody sit around the table and get their favorite pair of pliers and give them a pile of rings, and whoever could weave the most rings blindfolded correctly would win something. It's like pin the tail on the donkey, but for chainmail and like 10 times harder. And they could weave it into any weave. See how long. Have you tried the toddler challenge? It's great, especially when he jumps on the couch. Yeah. Yeah, I have done that. It hasn't been too problematic. But yeah, there were a few times. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. I would sit at the kitchen table, and then the TV was on the wall on the right-hand side across from me. And so whatever I was working on, it would be in a towel. I'd pick that up and go over and sit on the couch and watch TV, and he got me a few times. I don't know why I'm closing that ring before I've woven it into the cube, but here I am, just closing rings randomly for some reason. You know, Mike wants to start having meetups in KC when he gets a comic shop open. Mike. Do I know Mike? I'm assuming it's the Mike that I know. I didn't know he was making a comic shop. But maybe it's not the Mike I know. They have a space above the shop for chainmail. I have a space for chainmail. Thank you for the share. How you doing, Julie? Yeah, my luck with store owners and like nerd stuff has not been good. So Like, there was a place in San Antonio I tried to rent shelf space from, and they rented to a lot of people, and I was I didn't get picked. And then there's a store here that is much more. It's a gaming store, tabletop TTRPG stuff, and I would love to get some of my website product in there, or some of the stuff that I make, but it was not. That didn't go over great. So there is another gaming store nearby. I haven't been up there. Oh, I was asking who's Mike. You said Mike wants to start having meetups in KC when he gets the comic shop open. And then they have a space above the shop for chainmail. And then Julie tagged you. I don't know why. For fun? I don't know. Alright. Yeah. I did rent out some shelf space at a pottery shop once, and I didn't sell anything there. They were very much off the beaten path, but that lady was pretty cool. She taught people pottery. Fairy Tale Chainmail has been at Kansas City Renaissance Festival 4 years. That's a Renaissance Festival I've never been to. I don't think I've ever been to Kansas City. I'd have a friend from there, but long time ago. I haven't spoken to him in years. We were in the Army together. Friends in the Army are they're very come and go, right? So I have a few that we have both made the effort to stay in touch, and I'm in contact with a lot of them online. And those were people that I was in a unit with for a long period of time. But anyone I went to like training with, or like basic training, or AIT, where you get your schooling for your job, I'm not in touch with any of them, which is too bad. But yeah, my one friend Ben, he was from Kansas City. What festivals now? Probably don't know them. They aren't social media people. Yeah, no, I've never heard of them. You've never had good luck with consignment sales? No, not. Yeah, neither have I. Fox King, I'm making a jelly cube. So we're adding length, height, and width. Right now we're working on height. No, my best sales all come from the internet. And it's always someone who says, hey, I want that. And I'll say, okay, it's XYZ. They say, okay, how do I pay you? They made a few superhero scale outfits that were popular before the plague. The only superhero outfit I can think of is the Superman on the mannequin. I don't know if I've seen any out of scale mail, but I haven't seen everything. Yeah. Foxing, these are just fun chainmail fidget toys. Key is finding folks just as excited to show your work off for good sales. Otherwise, you're just another customer to them to make money off of. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. So there's probably, I think I'm at about 10,000 rings at this point. And it's, a hefty piece to just hang out with, you know, to fidget with. All right. Wonder Woman is the most popular. They made a Superman and Supergirl, Batman and Green Lantern. Nice. I was going to say something. I forgot what it was. Best sales come from the internet. People want to give you money. Those are the best ones. As opposed to finding any other way of marketing anything I make. I was going to say... I was going to talk about scale mail. So I have some scales, and I see why people enjoy it. It's got a lot of color options, and you can make some fun stuff out of it, but it's because of the fact that it's all European 4-in-1 connected for like 99% of it, it drives me up a wall. Making it. What does a cube weigh for 10,000 rings? I don't know. I could be wrong. Might only be 7,000. Looks fun, but seems really tedious to make. Yes. Especially at the number of rings I'm at. It is incredibly tedious. It's 10.3 ounces. Maybe I'm way off. Greater coverage to improve sale point cost per inch on scales. Greater coverage to improve sales point. Oh, is that why people like it? Because they can make money off of it? I mean, people genuinely make some cool stuff out of scale mail. I can't do it because it drives me up a wall. I've been asked to. I had to turn that down. It's like there are projects that are tedious enough already just with chainmail. Like working on the Coif earlier today. I was getting a bit bent out of shape at how long it's taken me. And, you know, like I've only done... I only added all the... See the line of color there? Right? For anyone looking on the overhead. See the line where the color starts to change? I only added, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows all the way around the base. Right? And that just took all day. You know? And here I am. This top layer was already like, the middle was halfway done when I first started. I don't know if you can see it as well on the overhead camera. But there's a... Right, like this portion of the top is done and this still needs to be finished, right? And this was already started and it's been an hour and 50. Well, no, I did finish that one corner of the Coif, so it's been 45 minutes, I think, since I started working on this. And I've only finished the one side. We're at the point now where finishing a side takes an hour. What's going on, Jeep and Jammer? How you doing? So the real work will come when I get a chance to sit down and work on this for 8 to 10 hours. On previous jelly cubes, I've averaged about 200 rings an hour, which is... Or was it one? I don't remember. I calculated it out. On one of the jelly cubes, it was taking me like 100 rings an hour, which is really slow. I think normally I can do 200 rings an hour. And then if someone's speed weaving, they can probably do somewhere between 300 and 400 rings. But that is a tremendous amount of effort. All right, you're doing better. I'm doing all right. Keeping busy. Getting stuff done. You know, this stuff puts itself together one ring at a time. And eventually I'll get somewhere with it. How much do the rings cost? Okay, so for this project, I think they're $4 an ounce. And this was 10 ounces, this bag. So that's 40 plus shipping and handling. And this was, what did we look up? 10 ounces. We just weighed it. So I've got $80 here so far for this one. But I've made, I want to say 2 others. And I got to make one more that were much smaller than this, right? Like a corner of this. Okay, this is getting absurdly large. I have a dying rubber band ball that sat at my bar, and the jelly cube is to replace the rubber band ball. So I want to make it at least as big, right? So I've got a long way to go. Is it weird that you want one ring at a time tattooed on your left forearm facing out so you can hold it up when people ask me how you do this? No, that's perfect. That's perfect. Sweet. So 3 pounds, 40 ounces should make a pretty large piece. 3 pounds, 48 ounces. Oh, yeah. 16 ounces per pound. Yes. You just tell me how you want that broken up. All right. Where was I? What in the world is going on here? I have... Okay. Yeah, should make a pretty decent sized ring. Or cube. Just get... How do you do it? Just one ring at a time. Right there. I think that's a great idea. What if, as an extra project, you wrap the ball with the chain? I would, but the latex is like falling apart on the rubber band ball. You've wanted that since you were like 20? Well, I'm going to write it down and put it on a t-shirt. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I won't. The number of t-shirts I sell is pretty small compared to everything else. Okay, so like if I had a big bearing and I wanted to wrap, I would wrap a large ball bearing in chainmail. That'd be cool. Attach it to just make a mace out of it. Do I have Church of Mail shirts? No. I should make some. I have a lot of stuff I have ideas for that are written down that I haven't put together yet. My t-shirts are something I got to work on. And then a pair of pliers on the inside of your arm. You should do it. Jube and Jamber, is your battery that was a problem the other day? It was failing, but not enough to be... I had that happen once where it was my battery. It wouldn't start my truck. Like all the lights would turn on and everything. Oh, that was the worst. enough to be the obvious problem. Look who's still under warranty. Weren't right on. So I need to dedicate some time to expanding my ability in graphic design, to become a better t-shirt designer, right? Anyone can go and put words on a t-shirt. Unfortunately for me, I'm not very good at it, but I am getting better. The Church of Chainmail, where we discuss the secrets of the divine ring and play with our holy pliers, where we weave the divine ring with our sacred pliers and construct holy armor. Oh, okay, that's off the cuff enough. Need the money first, but it's definitely on the list of things you want to get. Yeah, so I went to a tattoo shop the other day. Not for a tattoo. I got my ears pierced when I was 14. The initial piercings at like a Claire's or something. And then a couple years later, I got the second piercing in my ears. And I didn't have anything in the upper piercing for the longest time, but I was just going through my earrings, looking at what I had, what fit, and I had these old silver, like actual silver rings, and I got them through, but they didn't fit this upper piercing well enough. So there's a tattoo shop right around my corner, and they got a piercing studio. And I was like, I need some earrings and some help. Oh, I needed help because I did have some earrings that fit, some horseshoes that I was just going to throw in there and then forget about it. But the upper piercings have not had anything in them in such a long time that they had just shrunk down to be super small. So all I could get in was that old silver ring. So I went to the piercing parlor and I was like, I need an adult. I need someone to help me get a damn earring in my ear. So they hooked me up. They got me some new earrings, and then we talked about getting some tattoos. You got like 4 tattoos planned. Hubs at least 6, and then other things you want. Yeah, 100%. Jeep and Jammer, you just ordered new control arms for the Jeep you've been eyeing for a couple years. You're excited? Nice. There's a guy that does the clutch control arms. He mills them out of aluminum, and you can get custom words put on there like "fuck cancer" or the mistress, for your motorcycle, and they're like $150. And since I'm trying to put together all this chainmail on my bike, I should get one that says chainmail or mailworks, or I should probably get one that says mailworks and put it on the bike. Which reminds me, I need to find a place to put a logo on my bike. I wonder if I get wonder how to do it. You wouldn't print out a sticker and then get clear coat over the top. Anyway, I'll figure it out how to put a logo on my bike. In addition to all the rest of the stuff that I want to do. But yeah, so I took a look at the tattoo artist books that they had there, and they're okay. I'm gonna go get a small chainmail themed tattoo from them. You know how people get like barbed wire around their bicep. I was gonna go and get a Byzantine chain around my bicep, but that would be in the way of all the other things I want to do. You do as a wrap vinyl and can remove and apply new when it gets too worn. Yeah, that's with vinyl. It's like $3,000 to do the bike, and when it gets worn, the it's another $3,000 to redo it. The hydro dipping for all the parts of my bike are probably going to be less than $1,000. Well, I will take them at design. To print the stencil from. I'm not just going to let anyone tattoo me. But that has been an issue I've ran into before when I was going to get a tattoo. I was like, realizing that the artist did not have the skill that I needed them to. Your control arm was $1,685. Yeah, I believe it. Come on. Like, my bike's not customed out or anything. It's all stock pretty much. I've got some Vance and Hines pipes on there. And there are some things that I would like to do to the bike, but it would cost me the entirety of what the bike was bought for, to do the things that I want to do, right? Do a chain conversion, because I've got a belt on there, add a turbo, and swap out the engine from the 107 to the 135. And just give myself a 250 horsepower motorcycle for no other reason than that I can. Like, I like having a Road King. It goes, they're slow, but they're fun. You top out about 100 miles an hour, right? I don't recommend doing what I'm gonna eventually do to my bike to anyone, because a 250 horsepower motorcycle is a ridiculous amount of power for anyone. When you have a Harley and you can go 200 miles an hour, yeah. We'll see. It'll cost me like $20,000 to do that. It's okay. They don't always get it right in the weaves. They blur the stencil and don't always understand the over-under. Sure. If you want a 4-in-1 nickel size on your arm down to pay $1,000 for it, but so far you can't find artists that can draw basic 4-in-1 without it looking like Celtic knotwork versus a male pattern. No, I understand that. You're not going to finish your male pattern before fair, unfortunately, because of the fire. Yeah, no, I believe it. I believe that absolutely put a damper in your plans, which sucks. Are you, like, you're staying with in-laws and, getting everything cleared out and, like, recovering a little bit, right? All right, so we didn't even finish the top layer. An hour's worth of work, and these layers are becoming progressively longer and longer the more rings you add to them. It's well over 100 rings per layer, or per row at this point. So it just, the bigger you make a cube, the more time consuming it gets to expand it. And you got to expand it on 3 sides as you go along. So in order, once you have a cube and you want to expand it, you know, it's going to take you 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours here, 2 to 3 hours here, 2 to 3 hours here, just to get to the next level, right? And eventually it'll get to the point where you're working on one side for a whole day, okay? And that's just what it takes to make a large jelly cube. Kind of how that works, to be honest, yeah. All right. It is 10 o'clock. I do have some more stuff I got to do before the end of the night. Got to make sure my kid's in bed. And I got to get ready for tomorrow. So, for anyone who wants to learn more about chainmail, please go to the link tree in my bio if you're on TikTok. And if you're not on TikTok, go to the myusername.com, mailworks.com. It's my website. There's a link to the app up at the top. If you go to the link tree, or if you go to my website, you can download the Mailworks app from Google and Apple, and it's all the resources I would have wanted when I first started making chainmail 27 years ago. And I went through the long, arduous process of like learning what to do and what not to do, and it took me way too long, and I was really slow, and I really kind of sucked at first. So hopefully if you have access to all of these resources in the Mailworks app, you can get good really fast and learn to make cool stuff like giant jelly cubes. So, and if you're not interested in learning how to make chainmail, you're just interested in, I don't know, maybe finding someone to make something for you. In the Mailworks app, there is an artists section where there are a bunch of artists listed. Some of them are here on TikTok. I met most of them through Facebook. But they will gladly take commissions, most of them, and plenty. I think all of them have stuff for sale that you can peruse through. So, if you want to see more chainmail content and help me continue to spread the good word of the Church of Chainmail, and what was it I wrote down? Help me teach people how to weave the divine ring into holy armor. Please go to mailworks.com and check out the cool chainmail themed apparel and accessories that I have on there. All right, it's like this stuff like this hoodie, right? What else do I got? I just got nothing in reach. But it's all clothing that you can wear that has chainmail printed on it. It's fun stuff. So please go check out the Mailworks app. Check out mailworks.com. Help me be able to continue to do this. And I will keep doing it. And I will keep making cool stuff. And you guys can come and hang out and chill with me. All right. Oh, what'd I push? Okay. So, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate all of you. I am going to get going. You all have a wonderful evening. I will not be on tomorrow night because I got practice. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometime in there, more than likely. Alrighty? You all have a wonderful evening. And I will talk to all of you later. Push the button. Come on. There you go. All right, you guys have a wonderful night. And as for everyone over here, thank you for hanging out. Fox King, thank you for hanging out. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful evening. John, appreciate you.